Literary critics, historians, avid readers, and even casual readers will all have different opinions on which novel is truly the greatest book ever written. Is it a novel with beautiful, captivating, figurative language, or one with great realism, a novel that has an immense social impact, or one that has more subtly affected the world? Here is a list of 5 novels that, for various reasons, have been considered some of the greatest works of literature ever written. Any fan of stories that involve juicy subjects like adultery, gambling, married plots, and well-Russian feudalism would instantly place Anna Karenina at the peak of their greatest novels list. That's exactly the ranking that publication like Time magazine have given the novel since it was published in its entirety in 1878. Written by Russian novelist Leo Tolstoy, the 8-part towering work of fiction tells the story of 2 major characters. A tragic, disenchanted housewife, the titular Anna, who runs off with her young lover, and a love-struck landowner named Konstantin Levin, who struggles in faith and philosophy. Tolstoy molds together thoughtful discussion on love, pain, and family in Russian society with a sizable cast of characters regarded for their realistic humanity. The novel was especially revolutionary in its treatment of women, depicting prejudices and social hardships of the time with vivid emotion. Harperley believed to be one of the most influential authors to have ever existed, famously published only a single novel up until its controversial sequel was published in 2015, just before her death. Lee's To Kill a Mockingbird was published in 1960 and became an immediate classic of literature. The novel examines racism in the American South through the innocent wide eyes of a clever young girl named Jean Louise Finch. Its iconic characters, most notably sympathetic and just lawyer and father Atticus Finch, served as role models and changed perspectives in the United States at a time when tensions regarding race were high. To Kill a Mockingbird earned the Pulitzer Prize for Fiction in 1961 and was made into an Academy Award-winning film in 1962, giving the story and its characters further life and influence over American social sphere. Scott Fitzgerald, The Great Gatsby, is distinguished as one of the greatest texts for introducing students to the art of reading literature critically, which means you may have read it in school. The novel is told from the perspective of a young man named Nick Carraway, who has recently moved to New York City and is befriended by his eccentric, nouveau-rich neighbor, mysterious Oregon's Jay Gatsby. The Great Gatsby provides an insider's look into the jazz age of the 1920s in United States history, while at the same time critiquing the idea of the American dream. Perhaps the most famous aspect of the novel is its cover art, a piercing face projected onto a dark blue night sky and lights from a cityscape, an image that is also found in a slightly different configuration within the text itself as a key symbol. The late Colombian author Gabriel Garcia Marquez published his famous work 100 Years of Solitude in 1967. The novel tells the story of 7 generations of Buendia family and follows the establishment of their town Macondo until its destruction, along with the loss of family's descendants. In fantastical form, the novel explores the genre of magic realism by emphasizing the extraordinary nature of commonplace things while mystical things are shown to be common. Marquez highlights the prevalence and power of myth and folktale in relating history and Latin American culture. The novel won many awards for Marquez, leading the way to his eventual honor of the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1982 for his entire body of work, of which 100 Years of Solitude is often lauded as his most triumphant. E.M. Forster wrote his novel A Passage to India after multiple trips to the country throughout his early life. The book was published in 1824 and follows a Muslim Indian doctor named Aziz and his relationships with an English professor, Cyril Fielding, and a visiting Indian school teacher named Adela Custard, when Adela believes that Aziz has assaulted her while on a trip to the Marabar caves near the fictional city of Chandrapur, where the story is set. Tension between the Indian community and the colonial British community rise. The possibility of friendship and connection between English and Indian people, despite their cultural and imperial tensions, is explored in the conflict. The novel's colorful description of nature, the landscape of India, and the figurative power that they are given within the text solidifies it as a great work of fiction.